I spent over 50 hours watching insane healers, the ones that you can commonly see being rank 1 on all kinds of leaderboards, winning competitions such as MDI, Great Push and the like, and in this video I'm going to give you the biggest takeaways from those 50 hours all in just 9 minutes. Here's how I planned out my time. I didn't want to spend all of it watching just one healer and one class, so for the Holy Paladins I would watch Yami TV and Alasmir, for the Druids it would be J.B and Critex, Priest was Mode and Automatic Jack, and for the rest of Shamans it had to be Tanner and Lauren. And sorry monks, there wasn't anyone decent. With the preparation done, I was ready to put my plan into practice. So I got to work. The idea was simple. Watch 5 hours of content for 10 days straight. That has to be fun, right? Make popcorn, sit back and relax. Well, no! It hit me like a brick that this wouldn't be the case at all. Roughly 1 hour in, I realized how much different it is to watch content passively versus actively. And after just 2 days of watching, my brain was starting to get completely fried with all the new information. That's when I figured there's no way on earth I'll stick to the original plan, as unfortunately, even though it's bothering me, we are all humans. So what did this mean for my project? Well, in the end, the plan changed from this to this. The research is done and we are ready to move to the next step. Setting apart the valuable information from the rest. Don't spend major time on minor things. Now that my spreadsheet was overflowing with information, the next thing on the list was filtering the key information from the fluff. Here's what I mean. You might have heard of the Pareto principle, but in case you haven't, it's basically the 80-20 rule. 80% of information is useless, the remaining 20% is the oh yes! And that's what we want. The question is, how do we find the juicy stuff? Well, through the combination of common sense, experience and careful analysis. Throughout the 50 hours, I learned a bunch of cool little tricks that are unfortunately completely pointless. Utilizing inky black potions in some dungeons, changing rounds depending if it's fortified or tyrannical, or purposefully running into storming. Nobody cares. On the other hand, the 20% category is usually simple, boring, hard to implement and takes forever. So now, what is the golden 20%? The stuff that will actually help us improve. First, the most obvious one, playtime. This one goes without saying. Everyone who's doing the highest keys is doing a whole lot of keys. I hate to break it to you, but no one became a rank 1 healer from the comfort of their couch. Unless, never mind. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and fail.
Do not jump off the edge.
Oh, sick.
Hello?
Next up, community and making friends. So much depends on reputation, protect it with your own life. This one is probably the most important thing. Being the cool guy, having a good reputation, making friends and building a community of people you enjoy playing with will determine your success the most. If you ask any god tier gamer, 9 out of 10 will tell you that the easiest way to get more score is to stop playing with random people. And they are right to a certain extent. However, it's not as clear. People who do high keys often still play with randoms, sort of. The difference is that they build a community of people they can always hit up if they want to push some keys. So unlike you, where you have to sit in dungeon fire for 69 hours declining all the off-meta classes applying to your keys, they go to their friend list, see if someone is free and hit them up. The easiest way to get to this point is simply to be insane, be the most charming person on earth and add people you enjoy doing keys with. If you saw a monk who did insane overall or a mage who uses this all the time at least once, like that ever happens, add them, talk to them. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but don't just insta-leave the key and never talk to them again. Also, the important thing with this is, don't be a fake. If you are toxic and try to fake being friendly, well, good luck. Number 3, do not reinvent the wheel. This is where most people go wrong. Chances are, at everything in life, there are people who have done the same thing you want to do, and it's no different with doing dungeons. The easiest way to rapid improvement is to simply copy and paste. Follow step by step what other people do. I don't care, call it whatever you want, just stop overthinking stuff. You have the blueprint, aka the good routes, where to use CDs, how to heal the mage that never alters, and so much more. All that's needed from you is to study and apply that into your gameplay, or let someone else do it for you. You're welcome. Don't try to be creative, Mr. Know-It-All when you are just starting out. The time to start being creative, test new things, new routes and so on will start once you get to the god tier level of people that once used to be infinitely better than you. Now, this is going to be a mindfuck, but try to stick with me. Don't blindly follow. When you watch someone do something, always have one word in your head. Why? Why did he action this? Why last here and not there? Why did he use external here? The list goes on. I can guarantee you that if you understand their thought processes and then follow what they do, everything will make perfect sense and you will soon realize that you have adopted their insane way of thinking, and that's exactly what you want. Ability to take criticism and self-awareness. Know what went wrong. To preface this, I'm sure a lot of you saw a video, why are top M+ healers so successful? Where the guy keeps rambling for 20 minutes straight that 99% of the stuff isn't your fault. Now that guy, he was on one side of the extreme and I'm on the other side. I believe that not everything is your fault, but everything is your responsibility. It's either a mistake you did or it's someone else messing up that you could have possibly prevented. I want you to take full ownership of what happens in a key and ask yourself, how could have I prevented this? Not only will this help you time more keys, rapidly increase your success rate, but it will also help you with humility. When you believe everything is your responsibility, you always have complete power over the situation, and it will be easy not to be mad or blame others when you subconsciously know you could have done something better to prevent it. Perhaps you know that when you pack, people always forget to use defensives and die because of it. Perhaps you could have reminded them to use defensives before the scary pool. Perhaps you could have played your CDs differently because you were anticipating this problem. If something goes wrong and your first thought is, why is this guy so fucking dog shit? And not, could have I prevented this? Then your progress will stagnate. One of the main reasons I managed to pack my way so fast was because I took leadership in every single key I did. I reminded people to use defensives before scary pools. I tried to coordinate the route and offensive CDs mid-key if things didn't go according to plan. Don't be a victim, you can take responsibility for what's happening to you. Next on the list, we have calmness. I left this one for later on purpose. This one comes mostly with experience and being comfortable with the keystone level. If you always perform way below your average when you start doing a higher key than you are used to, for example going from all 19s to trying to time your first 20, you'll be super nervous, start panicking and mess up a lot more than you did in 19s, even though those two are almost identical. And spoiler alert, that's fine, and there's not much you can do about it. You just have to own up the fact that you'll probably turbo throw the key, likely deplete it, and be fine with that. Does it suck? Oh yeah, it does. But focus on the long term and know that the second time will be much better. Also, once you time any dungeon on a higher level, all the rest will come very easily, because you now know that you are a player who's capable of timing a certain key level. One more thing that I want to cover that is somewhat still under the topic of calmness is making mental notes. These will be your systems when something goes wrong or you have to improvise the route, CDs, etc. The first time it happens, you're just going to have to wing it and see how it goes. But with more practice, you soon have enough field experience to start making notes such as, if X, then I do Y, and if Z happens, then I do I, then I do A. So, to put this to an example, if in Theater of Pain you normally have to use Barrier or Aura Mastery on the far guy, but you had to use it earlier in the dungeon, as otherwise you would have died, you will probably need to commit some other CDs on the far guy, cover some DPS CDs or anything of this nature. Improvise. Again, at start this is going to completely screw all your plans, but it's the difference between a good and a great player. Style of play. The final big decision you have to make is, do you care about score or improvement? AKA, IO now or IO later? Now, what's the difference? If you want score now, your approach to keys is going to be a lot safer, calculated and straightforward. Avoid dying at all costs and always do the safest thing. However, if you go into keys with IO later focus, aka improvement focus, your main goal will be to be super greedy and push yourself to the limit every single time. Now, with this approach, you'll probably die a lot. And by a lot, I mean a whole fucking lot. There is one important thing. This decision doesn't have to be set in stone. Each day or each key you can decide which one you want to go for. Because frankly, even though IO later is almost always the better option, we are not all insane human beings like Zalia or J.B who can push keys, not time a single one, and be more motivated than ever. No. A lot of us need to time the keys to keep the motivation going, to push through, to climb and find better teammates. That's why sometimes playing safe and going for the successful time of the key will be better long term. It will motivate you and fuel you to push yourself even harder next time. So to recap, the 6 important things you need to work on are playtime, making friends, not reinventing the wheel, self-awareness and responsibility, calmness and style of play. With that being said, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.